cheesy if we wear the same thing?
Yeah, probably. Hi, it's Kara, and this is my friend Michaela, and today we are going to be talking with you guys about how we have survived a long distance friendship and how you can do it as well.
We've been friends since, Kara was 7 and I was 6.
She lied to me, but that's a whole nother story. She told me she was 7 because she thought it wasn't cool to be 6.5. So then we met when we were 7, and we were about 5 minutes from each other growing up. We were both homeschooled, so we were able to hang out with each other a lot. But then when we were 13ish, she moved to Arkansas, and we lived in Texas before this, and so she moved to Arkansas, so we were 9-ish hours away from each other.
Yeah.
And so then we had to figure out how to do the whole long-distance friendship thing because we didn't want to stop being friends. So we figured that out, and then she eventually moved back to Texas. They were like 3 hours away from each other then. She didn't move back to the same town, and then they moved again closer, so now we're only 45 minutes apart, and now she's at school, and so now we're 2 hours apart because of that. But anyway, so we've lived different all over the place, or you've lived all over the place. I've stayed in the same town my whole life. It's been amazing. Anyway, so that is kind of our background of how we have, like, how far apart we've lived from each other, and now we're going to be sharing some points about what helped us and what might be able to help you if you have a friend who is living far away from you, either because of school or because of your moved or whatnot. Yeah. So one thing we did, we started this when we were little, was we wrote letters to each other. Even when we were 5 minutes away from each other, we still wrote each other's letters, and then we carried that on to whenever you moved to Arkansas, we were like writing each other packets because we just like wrote for like weeks at a time.
Yes.
And then stuffed in an envelope and just eventually mailed it off, and it was like getting the novel from your best friend. It was pretty fantastic. Letters are still like a nice thing. Like you can, it's always nice to get a card in the mail and be like, oh, they thought of me, because I think it's more personal when you get a card in the mail. So that's one thing you can definitely do.
Yeah, it's definitely more personal. So we started writing emails to each other as well, and those went like super fast, right? Because we just learned how to type it up really quickly and then sent those off, and the next 2 seconds our friend got it, and so we read that and replied really quick.
And another thing we did was we would call each other often when she was in Arkansas, and then when she moved back to Texas, and we were far apart from each other. Phone calls are great. FaceTime is also a great option that we have nowadays. Back in the day, FaceTime was an option, but now you can do that. Phone calls, just the way so you can interact with each other face to face, but being like distance apart. So yeah,
sure. I think once we were like 15, 16-ish is when we got phones, and that's when we were able to like actually start texting each other and stuff. And again, that was quicker, but I don't think we like really started doing that until recently.
And then another thing you can do, you have Snapchat and then Instagram messaging you can do with like the fun face filters. Those are fun. We have screenshots of ridiculous Snapchats we've sent each other that bring us laughs even nowadays. So
we did like Snapchat streaks, and at one point some of them we were just like getting tired of doing it.
You.
Yes, we had to be me and other friends.
Yes, but anyway, those Instagram messaging and Snapchat is a great way to have communication, and you can send each other pictures of various things you're doing, and so that's a really fun way to be in communication with long distance too.
Another app that we like really like now is Marco Polo, and it's basically similar to Snapchat in that you can send like a video, but these you can send extensively long videos, and sometimes I definitely have gotten at least a 25-minute one.
Yeah. Marco Polo is definitely a really cool app. If you have someone who lives far away, definitely recommend it. When she lived in Arkansas, in the summer, we would plan week-long visits to go down to each other's house. So one summer she came down and stayed with me for a week, and then the next summer I went down and stayed with her for a week, and then I think after that was when you moved back to Texas. And so that was really good because we couldn't really see each other during the year because back then we couldn't drive, and even if we could drive, I don't think my mom for sure
9
would not
hours
be
was too long.
comfortable driving 9 hours by myself. Yeah, so that was a really good time so we could catch up and do all the different adventures that we couldn't do during the year because we were so far apart. So week-long visits were fantastic.
And the summer, or you could do spring break.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
the summer was nice. And then recently, because we're a little bit closer, now we can meet up somewhere kind of in the middle of where we both are. So our little spot has like our favorite restaurant that we go to, a little cafe, and then we tend to like walk around the square in this city and hang out and take pictures and go in the little shops and just chat and catch up. And it's been really nice for like the good times, but also like having that spot where we know we can meet up really quickly and easily between us for when something hard happens, you know? So it's the perfect place, and I encourage you to find a spot.
Also, another thing we recommend is whenever you end a visit, go ahead and kind of plan your next visit soon after that. That way it's not like, when am I going to see her again? When are we going to meet up? So go ahead and be like, well, maybe we can meet up spring break, or maybe Christmas time. We can meet up and like just kind of have a tentative plan in place, even if you have to like push it back or change it around as it gets closer. It's just nice to be like, it's not some sort of infinite time in the future, infinite?
I think it's fine.
Okay, time in the future that we'll meet up, but we will know around the time that we do that. So our last little group of tips for y'all, so we talked about communication and then we just talked about visits. We're now going to talk to you about goals and plans that you can kind of work on together, and not plans, projects, not really school related, but anyway.
Yeah, I think these are just wonderful things for people that are friends in general, so that doesn't have to be if you're long distance, but I think it worked out really nicely because one of the first things we did was we started working on a little skit, and so each of us practiced our lines by ourselves, and then we'd call each other and we'd practice saying our lines together.
This has been, I think we were like either middle school or very early high school, so we were kind of funny. But yeah, I mailed her this skit packet that one of my friends did at school for a competition, and so we highlighted our lines and then we memorized them, and we had plans for when she came down to visit me that summer for that week-long period. We were actually gonna go perform it to one of our old choir teachers from elementary school, and we didn't do that.
Thank goodness we didn't.
Probably it would be very embarrassing, so good thing we didn't do that. But it was just really fun to have that skit to work on together. It gave us something to talk about on the phone. It was good. And another thing we did around that same time, I think when you were in Arkansas, is we made a time capsule together. And again, this is something you can do even if you're not long distance with your friend, but it was really fun to like write things in it, like our predictions for the future, and put little funny memories. I don't even know what's in there. We haven't opened it yet. We put it for 10 years in the future, so we're gonna open it 2 years now. It's 2018, so in 2020 we can open it. So that's exciting. Yeah, so time capsule is a fun little project to work on. So those are all of our tips for you guys about how to survive a long distance friendship. Yeah. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Thanks for tuning in with us. I'll talk to you later. You might see her again sometime. But bye!